Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Morning Must Knows. My name is Merlin and here are 3 important things to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. Now last week we talked a lot about retail sales, and certainly we're going to talk more about that as we have some more retail sales earnings. But the big story this week is going to be Wyoming. Hold on a second, Wyoming, what are you talking about? That's right, Jackson Hole Symposium will be going on. This has been going on since 1978. What this is basically a big meeting of all the major economic forces that are driving our markets. And it's really important because that meeting is multiple day. It goes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now let me give you just a little glimpse as to who's going to be there. We start off with central bankers, 45, Federal Reserve, 25 members, academics, 25, media, 12 members that have to pay to be there to help offset the cost, apparently. Financial organizations, you have 8, and then government officials, 5. So you can see it's a very small select group. Now, of course, they're not making definitive plans about where the markets are going to be headed, but they might be making statements publicly about their views on things like inflation, interest rates, tapering, etc., and thoughts just about our economy overall. That can have a dramatic impact on our financial markets, which could create some waves Thursday and Friday. Moving on to our next piece is also about the economy, gross domestic product, or G to the D to the P. Now, why is this important? It's important because this is the preliminary reading, which is the one that the Fed is looking at the most. And the reason for that is it gives us an indication as to how our economy is performing. As you can see here, normally GDP is fairly flat, fluctuating, right around 3, 4, maybe 5%. Well, of course, when COVID hit, we had these massive spikes up and down, and now it appears we're climbing rather aggressively. And you would think that would happen given how much money has been printed. Now, the expectations are we're going to come right around somewhere about 6.5% GDP preliminary numbers. Now, that's a good number to have, but it really depends on what is stated in GDP. How do those numbers reflect the growth of the economy? Which sectors or segments of the economy will be performing better or worse? Now, the Fed has also said they'll be looking at GDP numbers because they're thinking about tapering. So a really strong GDP number would maybe accelerate the tapering process that the Fed is planning in the near future. If we get a horrible reading on GDP, that may stall tapering, and markets generally like that type of news. Moving on to our retail sales, we talked about earnings calendar last week. There's a ton of retailers. The retail sales numbers actually came out rather bad. But retailers themselves not only beat expectations, but performed rather well on those numbers. Here's our earnings calendar for the upcoming trading week. As you can see, 153 companies, so a very small sample. We do have on Monday JD and Palo Alto Networks. Tuesday brings us Intuit, Medtronic, Nordstrom's, Urban Outfitters, and Best Buy. Wednesday, you've got Autodesk, Salesforce, Network Appliances, Ulta Beauty, Dick's Sporting Goods. Thursday, you have Marvell Technologies, Workday, VMware, Hewlett-Packard, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and Dell Computers. Friday rounds things out with Big Lots, and of course the ones in red here are the main retailers reporting this week. Now what's important about that is they most reported last week and did great, and their prices went up. So might be something to kind of keep your eye on here as more retailers are reporting earnings for the upcoming trading week. That said, it's a rather quiet week. Not a lot of major tech or financial or energy firms, mainly in the retail space. That, my friends, is your Monday Morning Must Knows. We'll see you next week.